What is up, you outstanding Speed Gaming fans? My name is Adam, aka WXFan21, joined by none other than the legend themselves. It's Derp. Derp! It's nice to be commentating a race with you that's not at 1, 2 in the morning.
I agree. I'm a fan of being awake for one of these. There's a lot going on. You know, it's nice to be fully there so you don't miss anything.
Absolutely. So today is going to be our best of 3 series between Fringo, Fox, and Zeb. If you tuned into the first race, you saw Fringo squeak out an amazing win over Zeb by less than a minute. So Fringo is up 1-0. And these racers are here about to kick things off in their second race of the day. Digi Dang is back on tracking, so thank you, Dang. We appreciate that. Derp and I on comms. The chat is here. The racers are here. The tracker is clear, and hopefully in this race, not gonna look like spaghetti. So let's.
It kind of always looks like spaghetti, to be fair.
Fair. I did do tracking in one of them. I think it was sometime earlier this week, and Criteria looked like a puppet master. Just looked like someone that was controlling puppet strings. It was kind of funny. But I am also excited to hopefully get a green brain cell that doesn't connect to itself, because that's always fun.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the runners adapt to this race. I think game one we saw Fringo make some, I would argue, objectively worse checks that worked out. Not saying that Fringo's a bad runner. He played that really well and routed it just as well. But I do think some of his decisions were a little bit lucky. So we'll see if he continues to try to play for like spiking a big item against Zeb. Zeb is a fantastic rando runner. It is terrifying to play someone like him. So
yeah, and Zeb didn't start their timer.
It's doomed. But yeah, I think runners of almost any caliber can feel pressured into trying to make a lower percentage play against Zeb. I don't want to say Fringo's just getting lucky. I want to say he is potentially playing to his out in this race.
Well, right.
But we'll see if it works out again, and if he wants to play like that again.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we've seen it before in some of these rando races, like at one of the Metroid Prime Randomizer tournament races between Cosmo and Nye. Like, Cosmo's just movement in general is absolutely cracked and insane. So we saw Nye do, some boss checks and skip some other checks. Again, just trying to get the advantage over, one can argue the better player, but better player in terms of movement and pace and all that other stuff if you may not be up to that kind of level yet. So really wouldn't surprise me to see Fringo maybe go for some skips again.
Yeah, we'll see. Not going to be skipping this, of course. Get that morph ball in the ceiling. Already have an early E-Tank as well, so the meme route checks are going to be a little bit nicer if they find power bombs, which...
Oh boy, here we go again with the missiles. Idle warned me, because I didn't get a chance to really watch any of the last game, that apparently it was Missile City.
Yeah, I missed the first 10 minutes. I turn on the stream. They have only missiles. It was a pretty rough opening to the seed for sure. There's a power bomb though.
Yeah, there we go. That'll allow us to get to meme route. Also, I want to give a shout out to Oats and Goats. Congratulations on the new Super Metroid any percent world record with a time of 40 minutes and 36 seconds. It was unbelievable. I've been watching Oats' stream for a while, and just absolutely incredible to see. After all the hard work and stuff he's put into it, just incredible. And okay, back to this game. We see an amazing super missile. So, not Missile City today, ladies and gentlemen. We get some missile supers and power bombs. Now, where is this going to take us? Oh, is this Croc? No, it's Tube!
Not too bad. Can't believe we're about to see an equally incredible race between these two.
Absolutely.
As last night.
Okay, there's East Meridia entrance.
Oh, the back of East Meridia. Probably not going to see too much from that. I do like what Fringo is doing here, checking Spazer before actually checking these two portals. Because if one of these is good, Zeb kind of has to go back for Spazer and then back into it.
Yep.
In this case, neither portal is really good. You could potentially go down Redfish into West Meridia, but that's kind of risky. And you can't even really check Mama Turtle if you can't get back out.
No, yeah, there's no sense in doing that right now, but it is nice to have the early info of Redfish and back end of East Meridia. So now Zeb's gonna go with a Spacer while Fringo gets all the door information. So what's gonna be really interesting here is, since we have access to Red Brinstar early, 6 door checks. Those 6 door checks could prove to be a lot of nothing, or could prove to be a whole lot of something, because outside of Spazer, that's the only major item here in Red Brinstar.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see if Zeb does an X-ray check here. We saw him do it with 1 E-Tank in the last race. Now with 2, even if you don't find an E-Tank at the back, you're able to get out.
Did I hear you correctly? Did you just say Zeb did X-ray check on 1 energy tank?
Sure did.
Madman. It's gonna do it again!
Yeah, I mean, with 2 E-Tanks, as long as you get the strat, you have enough energy to make it back out. Zeb looks like he missed the opening, but just gonna farm up his power bombs and health and try it again. Let's see how he can do this. Alright, this looks a lot better. You want to kind of reach these waivers before they fly too far away, so you have to be moving as fast as possible at the beginning of the room. It's actually a little bit tricky, probably the hardest part of the trick, even though the rest looks as impressive as this. Zeb gets it beautifully.
Nicely done from Zeb, and we do find Business Center. And it's just an energy tank. And you can see Zeb's reaction on camera, like, really? So, what was to the left of Business Center? Where did that lead? I missed it. Franco went out so early.
Yeah, I didn't see because I was watching Zeb.
That's what I was doing! Double red tower, okay. So that's really interesting. So at least we know what Business Center goes to.
Yeah, I mean, I think Business Center elevator was at the portal above X-Ray, so we're about to see everything on Zeb's side again.
Oh, yeah, it was the other Red Brinstar or so. Well, Norfair exit. Oh, it should be Meridia exit to Upper Norfair. So Red Brinstar linking to both sides of Business Center. Makes me think Upper... I mean, Zeb, just go check Upper Red Tower here. Don't go back. Oh, come on.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the runners check the Red Brinstar elevator. I don't think either one did.
Imagine if that's your access to Green Brinstar and you can get it out of the way with early.
Yeah, that's a fairly low percentage to happen, but I would have liked to check it, yeah. Although for Zeb, I think he's probably just going to do it after Business Center, so it's actually not that unreasonable to put it off until after doing these first 2 checks.
Just fine. 2 majors, easy to get to. I say easy, the runners make it look easy.
Yeah, with runners of this caliber, they're not going to have any problems with it.
Yep. Okay, so all we get here is Spring Ball at Ice and an energy tank at high jump. So a lot of energy here early, derp, and makes me think that some hell runs could be in these runners' future here in Upper Norfair.
Yeah, we're probably going to see Zeb save after checking high jump, and then check the Red Tower elevator, and if it's nothing, he has the save to reset to right back to Upper Norfair, so he can get over to Bubble Mountain. With 4 E-Tanks, the hell run across is in logic, and Zeb is very capable of that, of course. Although technically one of these tanks wasn't in logic, that X-Ray was a sequence brick, but with so many things outstanding in criteria, it's pretty likely that one of them was an E-Tank, and this is something that could be logically required.
True.
Does Fringo get this iceless speed escape? Or ice escape?
Oh!
Almost.
Almost hit it.
We saw both runners do that last race, I believe. It was cool to see.
Yeah, that mock ball out is, it looks pretty when it's done properly, but other than that, you know, it looks like a little hard to hit. So Fringo gonna make their way outside of Business Center and gonna head back up. Looks like we're gonna head to Red Tower to see what's finally at the top of Red Tower. Again, if you're just tuning in, Fringo is up 1-0 in this best of 3 series, which are all happening back to back to back.
we'll see what is up here. It doesn't have to be something good. Remember that there are a lot of criteria portals that were skipped.
It's Kraid! Okay.
Well, this could be good. Still a 50-50 chance that this boss is beatable. There's not really anything they can do if they find Dragon or Ridley.
Nope, but it's good information to have. And that's a great super to find. Ammo very scarce early on here in this run.
Yeah, I'd like to see Fringo, even if he's just thinking about Fantoon, I'd like to see him take the health refill just to make sure. This is a bit of a scary situation to be.
Yep.
Potentially entering Fantoon, because you have to be able to deal with it now. You really don't want to be coming back here if you don't have to.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, both runners going to take the save, of course. I would have liked to see Zeb save in Business Center, but...
And Fringo is taking
thing.
your advice and is going to go get the energy refill here. And gonna hit the missile refill as well, just in case. No.
That pause doesn't actually save time.
Look at that Fringo trying to show off some swaggy scrats.
Yeah, it's cool. You can do that with refill stations, pause and then move away, but the pause takes up enough time that it doesn't actually save anything.
It's Dragon, and there's the reset.
Yeah. No surprise there.
And there's the reset for Zeb. As much as they would like to punch Red Dragon in the face, they're not going to.
Just imagine if Zeb was resetting to the save at Frog Speedway. He could just go straight into Upper Norfair Hell runs. Here he has to go all the way back through Kraid's lair, all the way down the elevator.
I am very suspicious of Green Brinstar. I'm
It's
suspicious.
probably somewhere in Upper Criteria, and the runners just haven't found a good way to get back to it. I do expect Zeb. You see him farming the Zealous here. He's getting as much health as he can. He's definitely going into Upper Norfair. Frigo, on the other hand, doesn't really have the health to, so we'll see what he decides to do. There is the refill that he can take at the bottom of Red Tower and then go back halfway up to get back to Business Center. But we'll see if he decides to do that on 3 E-tanks instead of 4. We could also see him take the health refill and then do like a... Where's he going? I think he's actually taking this and then taking the other portal at the top. Yeah, just to get down a little bit faster.
That or a Zeb really wants to go do a hell run through Cathedral, which he's gonna do.
Yeah, I said Zeb was gonna go for it. He's not gonna take the long trek all the way back to Criteria. Yeah, he's got plenty of health though. 4 E-tanks is pretty free for this, for a runner of Zeb's caliber, even taking the time to farm the power bombs in the first room.
Mm-hmm. Fringo does hit that energy refill on the way back, which is nice. So Fringo looks like gonna go... I wonder if Fringo is gonna go take on West Meridia at this point.
It's not unreasonable. He did take the save.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like...
And Zeb gonna go for this miner over here. It's just another missile.
It looks like Fringo's headed to West Meridia. He's gonna jump down and see what's up.
I mean, you can't get Mama Turtle. You can find...
You can get Mama Turtle. It is actually possible with this loadout, but you can't get back out unless you get like high jump or gravity, I believe.
So it's a soft lock.
Yeah, maybe Spring Ball is enough. I don't actually know. It's a... I
mean,
don't really do low item Mama Turtle checks. It's a little bit scary.
Yeah, they get... oh, go check Main Street. All right.
Yeah, Fringo didn't even go for it.
Nope, Fringo's going to Main Street. Main Street!
Ooh, Zeb actually got pretty low there. It's down to like 11 energy before he got to this farm. He had plenty, though. He had like a full tank entering Batcave, so he was almost always getting up
my
there.
lower Norfair front.
Yeah, there is another door to check here. It's got the crab hole, or
yep.
Meridia map. Crab hole's the one in Criteria, I believe. I don't know. I call them both crab hole, but
this is crab hole.
Very silly. Okay.
Kago's the other one I think you might be thinking of, or crabs. I don't know. We couldn't have come up with better names for this.
I mean, it's not
This is
it's not
technically
our
crab
fault
hole.
that there's 2 crab holes. There's 2 holes
fair.
that contained crabs.
Oh,
here's the other crab hole.
The crabs! You gotta be kidding me! This rando has a funny sense of humor.
Yeah, we'll see if Ringo's able to get this first try spring ball jump across. That's something that... No, he missed it. That's something that Zeb was having a little bit of trouble with in the last seed.
Zeb is just finding energy and energy. And did I mention energy? Fringo misses the spring ball jump. This is very difficult. I don't care if you do it with spring ball or you do it with a wall jump. Just difficult, period.
It's not too bad with spring ball, I say, as Fringo messes it up again. Unfortunate. It is really hard doing the in-room setup with spring ball, honestly. I do not like that. And Fringo's actually just going to bail.
Yep, head back to the ship, refill. You have no power bombs. Wouldn't it surprise me if Fringo's going to go gauntlet?
I don't think he checked gauntlet on only 5 power bombs. You don't have a way back out. But he is going to check Bomb Torizo and Terminator, for sure.
How if we not checked Bomb Torizo and Terminator? Oh yeah, because we found
we left.
We found Red Brinstar.
We left criteria. Zeb getting the backup.
Yep, nice damage boost.
See if this Bubble Mountain ends up being anything.
We have found almost all the West Meridia entrances too.
Well, Fringo did have to check both of the ones at the bottom, so
yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. So that would be Pre-Aqueduct and Main Street have been found. Oh, Pre-Aqueduct, I'm sorry, is the one we haven't checked yet.
Okay. Yeah, Pre-Aqueduct is the one in the
top.
my
goodness, it's Charge Beam!
That's interesting. I think Zeb will find that eventually, but it is possible if he gets back to criteria with a lot of items that he just decides to skip it. So it's interesting to see whether or not Zeb will get back to that. I assume he will, though.
Yeah, but that could be huge right now. On the very low ammo that we have so far, that Charge Beam could be huge. No beams, no suits. We could be in for a longer seed here, Derp.
Yeah, it's possible. There's another E-Tank for Fringo. I am interested to see where these portals go.
Zeb has Speed Booster, by the way.
Yeah, Zeb did find Speed Booster at the Norfair Reserve, so that's... If nothing else, it's a nice way back to Business Center in Red Tower.
Yep. Oh, there's Aqueduct.
Yeah, not the first thing you wanted to find. I believe that's both East Meridia portals found now.
You got it. And like I said, no green Brinstar portals, which I'm very suspicious because you got quite a few major checks there. Oh, and that's huge information for Fringo. That's Torian.
Yeah, definitely a lot of good information for Fringo. I assume we're actually going to see him go back to Moat and try it again a couple times. Hopefully he's able to get it reasonably quickly. We saw him get it first try, I believe, last race, so... You know, Fringo is definitely capable of getting across with spring ball.
Ooh, that just might have put Zeb in the lead. A combo of speed and space jump. Zeb is going to have movement for days now, and Fringo still with just the walking at this point and the spring ball. So, I mean, I do think this is going to start favoring Zeb eventually, but I still think Fringo's in the lead just based on info.
That spike hit that you saw Zeb take is actually a lot more impactful than you may think, because it means he can't actually go over to check the single chamber portal yet. He's going to have to refill again and go grab it. He might have been leaving anyways, just to be safe. It is possible that that's back of lower Norfair and Zeb gets kind of owned, but...
It's also possible
with the spike hit, he didn't even have the chance to go for it.
Yeah, it's possible it's Green Brinstar, and that's our only way into Green Brinstar, which would be funny. Because we've seen Green Brinstar before, in a lock in itself.
I don't know how funny the runners would find it.
I mean, for me, for comms, I'd find it funny because it's better content for us.
Yeah, Fringo's jumping a little bit too late. He's trying to jump as late as possible and just gets the CWJ with spring ball. He's a gamer. But to get the spring ball, you actually want to jump a little bit sooner. Here's that green Brinstar we were alluding to.
Hey, we found it!
Let's see what else is here. Fringo does not have speed booster yet, so if something important is at Waterway, this is still a pretty good situation for Zeb. Again, depending on where this portal leads, because we know it's not Criteria.
Nope.
There aren't a lot of other possibilities. We've already filled out a lot of the map.
If this is one of the wrecked ship ones, it is... Ooh!
Hey,
high five!
Yeah, so if something is at Waterway, this is really good for Zeb.
Well, yeah, Fringo's gonna go clear out the rest of Green Brinstar.
Yeah, you definitely want to clear everything while you're here. The one thing to know is that Fringo having charge now means he won't have to pick up as many minor items. Zeb might still be in pick up everything mode, so we might see him pick up a lot of missiles if that's what's in Green Brinstar, and then end up finding charge afterwards.
I don't think we have enough energy to do suitless lower Norfair yet, correct?
Well, for suitless lower Norfair, you need a little bit more than energy. You want enough ammo to Crystal Flash at least once, maybe twice, depending on your health. And you want something to get across the Key Hunters. So either Screw Attack or Plasma Beam to get through them.
They hurt.
They do hurt. And most runners won't do it without gravity either. Because not having gravity reduces the enemy damage by a lot. They'll do like several E-tanks worth of damage with just the power suit, so I don't think the runners are thinking about suitless just yet.
Yeah, Fringo with the nice super missile to clear wave door, and we are gonna find... Speaking of suits, it's gravity, which does put now all of the Meridia doors that we've seen now into firm play here. Mama Turtle's in play, East Meridia's in play. Plenty of stuff in play
saving
now.
That E-tank for later, after he does this Shine Spark, by the way.
Oh my
really
goodness.
Small thing that you don't see from a lot of people, but Zeb, having played so many of these seeds, just he sees that and he's immediately thinking, I'll pick this up later for the bigger refill.
Yeah.
So it's part of the reason why Zeb is so scary. He's played so much,
X-ray.
He knows so many little things like that.
Oh, X-ray.
Yeah, X-ray not the highest impact item there at Waterway, unfortunately, but Zeb's still gonna find that gravity and
can we even say X-ray is an impact item at all in speedrunning, with the exception of like microwaving?
Spoken like someone who hasn't seen any percent glitched, shaking my head. But it depends on if he finds charge plasma. Otherwise, yeah, it's a pretty useless.
Oh,
there's both suits here. That's hilarious.
Green Brinstar full of suits.
Yeah, and they know where Drayon is. They know it's not in East Meridia. Technically, that is go mode minus ammo for Fringo.
Yep.
But we'll see how he decides to route this. This is actually really interesting.
It's a very long go mode with just charge beam and nothing else, but firmly doable.
Yeah, don't think we're gonna see any 300-shot Ridley or Mother Brain fights, but technically, Fringo could beat the game without picking up another item. We'll see where he's off to now. Definitely gonna check this while you're here. No reason not to.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of big ticket items like Plasma, like
Plasma.
It could be speed in Fringo's mind. Obviously, we know it isn't. Wave is actually pretty nice. Probably the second best beam to find. Well, that might still be ice. I'm not sure. But Wave increases your firepower by a lot. And a Crystal Flash is not super impactful because they have Varia, but getting more power bombs without having access to vanilla bombs is also nice. The best case for Zeb, I think, is actually that there's a dead end here at the top of Green Bryn, so he goes back into either East Meridia or Criteria, or I mean West Meridia, just so he gets some of those items that he missed.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Zeb skips charge, then this could still be very competitive. So I'm not sure when Fringo is gonna clear up Bubble Mountain.
Zeb is shaking his head.
Yeah, like chat pointing out, I'm not sure if Fringo is ever gonna do the Bubble Mountain checks and get speed and space jump, so Zeb really wants to find charge and not be on an ammo hunt, and if he does, then the extra movement items that he has should be able to push him pretty far ahead of Fringo just off of being able to go faster through the game.
Makes sense to me.
Looks like they did find front of wrecked ship at the top.
Wrecked ship.
That's actually big for Fringo, because Zeb doesn't have charge. If Ridley is here, this is a little bit of a sketchy fight. Zeb does have 30 supers, but doesn't have them all loaded at the moment, so finding Ridley here is a little bit scary. There is a super here at Spooky, so it's not too bad. We'll see what boss this ends up being, though. I think even if it's Fantoon, Fringo probably bails on ship. Maybe he checks the right side super for just like try to spike an ice or a plasma beam.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're ever full clearing ship here. And I think Zeb is in the same way. Oh, I didn't realize there was a super there.
Great.
So Zeb is actually fine on ammo. And it's just Kraid anyways.
Nice clear. Nicely done from Fringo.
Nice and easy quick kill.
Zeb is quickly catching up.
Zeb is on the way. He's going to check these two minor items, though. And remember that Fringo has a lot more information than criteria.
Mm-hmm.
So that is worth noting. Zeb, on the other hand, doesn't actually have any more information about the upper Norfair portals, even if he does have all of the item knowledge. So, in theory, Fringo is ahead in information, even if he's behind in movement items.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of where the difference is here. Also, Charge Beam is very big. We'll see. We will once again see if Zeb ever gets back to that. Because, honestly, Zeb doesn't need that many more items, and he has a lot of ammo, actually.
I think Zeb's just going to ammo hunt and forego like checking everything for charge. 40 super missiles, 45 missiles. Zeb is not that far away from, minimum for go mode either, just based on ammo.
Yeah, he's got a way to do Zeb skip as well with that speed booster, so I would be surprised if we see Zeb check very many more major items. He'll probably check behind Kraid still.
Fringo doesn't have one yet, unfortunately. You need ice or speed, I believe, correct?
Correct.
Oh, nice moonfall there from Fringo.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. They do have knowledge of all 4 boss areas, and Fringo has knowledge of Turian. I wonder where Fringo is going to go first. I think... I'm actually not sure. Might go to Kraid's Lair for Dragon, and then that would open up East Meridia for him, for Fringo, since he doesn't have a way to Batuun yet. At least not a good one. Ah, Zeb almost getting the speedball out of Kraid. Would have been able to skip this powerbomb on his way up through ship. Would have been cool. Another really heads-up play for Zeb, just knowing little things like that are possible.
Tank there by Kraid, correct?
Yeah, it was just a knee tank behind Kraid.
So rude.
Yeah, it looks like Fringo is entering West Meridia. I assume he takes us into Red Brinstar and then goes up to the top for Kraid's Lair. He can even check the behind Kraid, or not the behind Kraid, the Kraid Closet. So potentially that's another big major item. I think the biggest one for Fringo is Plasma. If Fringo finds Plasma, he's actually in a really good spot, because before then he doesn't have a great beam combo for Ridley and Mother Brain, even if it's not too bad. But if he finds Plasma, then
oh hello, here we go. Low on Norfair time.
Well, he can do this as well. This is unreasonable. I don't know. A lot of the bosses are pretty close to each other in this seed. I don't think there's a lot of different ways you can be routing here, and it's kind of hard to think of which one is the objective best on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fringo doesn't have the most comfortable trip through Lower Norfair. Doesn't have a great way up worst room in the game. Does have Spring Ball, which isn't too bad, but going to have to be supering the Pirates, which is going to cost a lot of ammo, and you do not want to be losing a lot of ammo with this beam combination, with the potential that this is just Ridley right here. If that makes sense.
Yep, does to me.
Zeb, meanwhile, actually going back into Upper Norfair, potentially looking for the back of LN, so he's able to, enter and exit LN from the back. Doesn't need to do this trip that Fringo is doing. Could also lead to a few different portals that Zeb hasn't seen. I don't think he's seen Aqueduct yet.
Nope, Zeb still needs that info.
Right, so it could be back of LN, it could be front of East Meridia. Both of those are really good for Zeb. And one of them is still possible for him to find, so we'll see if it happens, or if he just gets owned.
Oh, nice from Fringo.
Yeah, I got that spring ball jump up. I was not even talking about it. He just got it so quickly. Let's go. And here's the back of LN for Zeb. That's really good. I was worried that those two doors would be like back of Ship and Krog, and things are very sad. But Zeb finding at least one good portal here in Upper Norfair. The runners are actually going to sync up pretty quickly here.
Mm-hmm.
Zeb going to be a little bit behind going through the bottom of Lower Norfair. But still has the big movement advantage with these items. I'm kind of surprised he's already committed to checking the PBs in jail. I think it's a little bit slow. There's still a lot of minor checks in the way. I don't know if I'd be doing this one this early, but regardless. If there was any doubt that Zeb was committing to minors and skipping basically every major item in his path, there's your...
There's your answer!
There's your answer. So Fringo... He's... Like I said, he had to use so many supers going up worst room in the game that his ammo count is really low, and a potential Ridley fight will take a long time. Whereas for Zeb, having 30 supers loaded up, he'll be able to get through the fight very quickly and just get out. He'll probably just be ahead of Fringo after that, plus having the movement advantage after that. I think Zeb is pretty comfortably in the lead here, especially if this is Ridley. If it's Fantoon, then Fringo can at least get through the boss pretty quickly, but I do think this situation is a fairly comfortable lead for Zeb. If Fringo is actually going to farm up to 30 supers, then he's definitely behind. Oh my. Yep. I hope he stops at like 15, actually. I think you can do a fairly reasonable Ridley fight with just 15 supers and the rest charge shots. You may have lost WX fan. Hopefully he comes back. There he is. What's up, WX? Welcome back.
Thank you. Sorry, hit the wrong button.
Many such cases. Fringo's still farming. This is kind of a disaster for Fringo, actually.
Yep, not good at all.
Turns out he has to. This is Ridley here. It is vanilla.
Yep, so Zeb ahead now.
Zeb is really ahead now.
I mean, we said this, that the speed boost to space jump is just going to allow for Zeb to fly through some of the areas. Fringo doesn't have that movement advantage right now.
Yeah, the only advantage Fringo has at this point, really, is just the knowledge of Turian. Zeb is still going to have to do a lot of extra checks just to try to find that. And we'll see what all he ends up doing. Also, Zeb doesn't know where the front of East Meridia is, which is non-trivial. But I think with these movement items and just overall being ahead, I would say, this is a very good situation for Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how fast that Ridley fight is. Fringo isn't even halfway done. I don't know how many charge shots is. I didn't see how many of his missiles connected. But every charge shot is another second. Fringo's taking it a little bit safe, keeping the charge a little bit longer, just to avoid accidentally shooting a regular shot. So probably more like a second and a half per shot. Alright, really looks like he's changed colors on Fringo's screen. No, he definitely has. Now Fringo can finish up the fight with supers.
Supers.
Oh, Zeb missed the speed ball. That's actually kind of bad. He's losing a lot of power bombs. I would honestly like to see Zeb like farm fire fleets just to refill power bombs and potentially spike a good item.
It's definitely a major item check. Oh, did he already check it?
He did not check it. There was no reason for him to. He has plenty of major items. Fringo actually skipping vanilla bombs there. I don't really like that either, but that's okay.
Did they seriously both skip vanilla bombs?
Well, Zeb didn't even check it.
Oy vey.
I guess Zeb doesn't need to go to Fire Fleece to farm. There's some Alcoons up at the top of back of LN that he can farm instead. You can get up to 3 power bombs if he wants them. We'll see if Zeb actually does that anyways. I might be overrating how much he needs power bombs in this situation. Looks like he's not even going to bother. He's got plenty of health to tank these 3 musketeers. And Zeb is done with his lower Norfair.
Whoa!
Let's see where he goes. He's going to check the Croc portal, which is the last upper Norfair. I think it has to be vanilla, right?
Probably.
Yeah, looking at the map, it looks like this has to be vanilla Croc, and Zeb is not going to bother with it. He's going to bail right away, I assume. We're probably going to see the same thing from Fringo, actually. He'll exit LN from the back and get spit out at Gravitron, and then go check Croc on his way to Red Tower.
Croc? No, it's pre-Aqueduct!
Oh, wait, what am I missing?
So...
Oh, back of ship is Croc. Okay, my bad.
Back of ship is Croc.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about those 2 portals.
It's okay.
Either way, I think Fringo is going to be doing the same thing. He did save, so maybe he's actually leaving LN out the front. No, he's going to check the back. Okay. He's actually saving in case the back of LN is Croc, because he doesn't know that isn't a possibility. So if it's Croc, then he's going to just reset instead of going all the way back through the top of LN.
Just a reserve tank down by Fire Fleece.
Yeah. Zeb doesn't need any items, but the items he skipped have not been particularly notable, at least in lower Norfair. Obviously doesn't have that charge beam, but already has enough ammo to finish the game. 55-55 is enough. We'll probably see a few more checks, though. You can do, like, the Aqueduct miners at the right side of that room. And then, like, Precious Room. That's already almost enough. Looks like Zeb is gonna knock out Kraid's Lair at the moment while he is at the top of Red Tower.
Might as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. With Croc,
you have the info.
Or with the Croc portal not really being important, Zeb gets spit out right at the top of Red Tower, and like I said at the beginning of the race, it's kind of awkward to get back to it. So earlier Zeb can knock it out, the better. Also, he's probably going to be entering East Meridia from the back, so getting Dragon out of the way allows him to take Cac Alley to the boss instead of going all the way down the tube and through Batoon. So that's going to save a lot of time as well.
Yep. As long as Zeb doesn't mess up, this looks to be Zeb's race to lose.
I would say so, yes. Remember that Zeb still doesn't know where Turian is, so I assume what Zeb is going to do is just hope that it's not in the back of ship and go across Criteria when he has the chance. Because if it's at back of ship, it is so miserable for Zeb to get back to it.
Yep.
And fortunately for him, he is going to be rewarded since back of ship is Croc, and Zeb has zero reason to go to Croc at this point. Would have liked to see him use a super there, but Zeb had enough ammo to deal with the fight. He's not even going to bother picking up the drops. He is leaving as fast as possible. I lied. He's going to pick up these for some power bombs. Now he's going to leave, though.
Hi, Zeb. Dragon says bye-bye.
I don't think Dragon's saying anything.
No, Dragon is dead. Dragon's basically saying F you, Zeb, while Dragon dies.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question here from chat, Derp. Someone posted, it's Jace Bro in chat. How are you supposed to read the area map anyway? What do the colors lines represent? I don't think the colors represent anything.
Yeah, I think the colors are just there so each line is distinct. Because if every line was the same color, it would be even more of a mess to read.
So the area map, I can answer the other part of that question. So the area map itself, where this is boss rando and area rando, certain transition doors. So for example, let's just take the Turian door, right? We know that's down bottom left of criteria. That door is randomized. That door and this one led to the East Meridia portal called Aqueduct. And then that leads us to East Meridia, which we can go ahead and clear to find the boss. Right? Like, that's the easiest way in. You can technically find another way in from West Meridia. You go through Cack Alley. So there's different ways to get to certain places, but there are a predetermined set of doors in the randomizer itself that are randomized for different areas. Some can be vanilla, we've seen it before, but you'll most likely find it randomized to a different section, and that lets the runners go, hey, okay, I've got 2 energy tanks, I really can't do hell runs in Upper Norfair right now. Ooh, I just found Croc, but I have Plasma Beam and Charge Beam. I can clear out Croc and go check the major item behind it. There are different ways that the runners basically have to adapt to where the doors, you know, for lack of a better term, take them.
This routing is actually going to be so perfect for Zeb. He's gonna go through East Meridia back to front, and that's going to lead him right to G4. He's going to end the game without knowing what front of LN or back of ship are. This is really good for Zeb.
This is kind of incredible. You know, we were like, Zeb missing checks, just going right and up in Norfair and doing the hell runs. This has paid off for Zeb. Doing that Cathedral run early really paid off for him.
I mean, I agree with it for Zeb. He had such a long trip back to criteria from his knowledge, so going into Bubble Mountain immediately and getting those 3 checks out of the way made the most sense in his position, I think. And obviously, he was rewarded with those movement items. You see how much more efficiently he's able to move through the game than Fringo.
And there's the Cack Alley play I mentioned by getting through East Meridia, not West Meridia, but that is, you know, this is exactly what I mentioned. Now being able to skip Aqueduct, Botwoon completely, and on to take on Fantoon, and Zeb is going to be done, and we should be tied 1-1. Drop, you joining me next game?
Maybe.
Derp has lots of plans today. I mean, let's just call it what it is. Derp has, you know, tons of fantasy football drafts they have to do, lots of dates, lots of sun time, lots of beach time.
Actually, when does my fantasy football draft start? Doesn't matter. Zeb is already here at Fantoon, pretty close to finishing the game here. Just needs to beat this, go through to the front of East Meridia, and then that leads him right into Turian to finish the game. He's got plenty of ammo. He's got the speed booster to do Zeb skip. This is a really fast seed for Zeb. He's going to finish around 52, 53 minutes. Maybe more like 55. He does have a little bit of a trek to get through.
I mean, if we
the front of East, but it's
I mean, if we want to play this, you know, to technicalities here, Derp, Zeb never started a timer on screen.
Zeb already finishing at 0 minutes. This guy's crazy.
Oh my goodness, Brent! So much for Oates' new world record.
Yeah, personally, I just start a timer late, so my times are always better. I'm just built different, though.
There you go. Yes, someone mentioned it in chat. Hopefully no one's doing a draft on August 5th. Yeah, I've done best ball drafts, but it's way too early. So Zeb taking out Fantoon. This is a good time as Fringo goes ahead and takes out Dragon. Exclamation point R in chat to follow both of these amazing runners, and exclamation point C to follow the commentary and tracking team. Big shout out to my co-commentator Derp and our amazing tracker for this race, Digi Dang. Greatly appreciated.
Digi, right? Or is it Digi? I actually don't know.
Yeah, for those that are waking up, we have a new world record holder, EVR. Oates last night did it. The mission is done. 4036 is the brand new Super Metroid any percent world record.
Yeah, we're here for this race. These runners are putting on almost an equally impressive performance here. Zeb is cruising through this seed.
Zeb making it look like
behind, honestly.
I mean, Zeb making it look like he's got speed boosters literally doubled. Like, just flying through this with speed that's insane. Right, like, you get the speed booster and no high jump. Oh, look at this. Just for fun, Zeb's gonna go get this.
I mean, he wanted a little bit more ammo. Pretty lucky here to find some supers.
So, Derp, correct me if I'm wrong. Go mode for Mother Brain is 50 supers?
Well, it depends on your missile count. So you're gonna need... The minimum is 40-60 in theory. That would require you to break all of the doors and then refill. But you have 36 missiles to break the glass and kill Mother Brain 1, and then 60 supers to deal with Mother Brain 2. Because Mother Brain 1 needs to do... You need to do 3,000 damage, and you need 6 hits.
Look at Zeb. He just was like, I did this right. Great routing by me. He just shook his head up and down like, yep. That's what
he's really happy he
see.
doesn't have to go to back of ship or front of LN.
Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off there, but just Zeb's reaction was fantastic. Go ahead. So 36 missiles to break the glass, 60 for Mother Brain 2.
Yeah, well, for Mother Brain 2, or Mother Brain 1, you need 6 of any ammo, either missiles or supers, to break the glass, and then you need to do 3,000 damage, so either 30 missiles or 10 supers, but you need to hit Mother Brain at least 18 times to completely break the glass and end the fight. So the minimum is, in theory, 9 missiles and 9 supers.
Huh.
But anyways, you want at least 40-60, so you can have 36 missiles to break the glass and kill Mother Brain 1, and then 60 supers to finish Mother Brain 2. And for each super pack you're missing, you need 3 missiles to make up for it. So like 55 missiles, 55 supers, 70 missiles, 50 supers, and so on. So Zeb picking up a little bit of extra ammo at the end means that he'll actually be able to break the doors without refilling. Won't have to go back all the way through the bottom of Turian to refill and then back to Mother Brain.
Yep, and you need a minimum of 15 power bombs with no ice to be able to take care of all the Metroids in these rooms.
Yeah, each power bomb, or each room requires 3 power bombs, and unless you get really lucky with drops, you're going to want at least 3 power bomb packs to make it through without refilling. The good news is, in Area Rando, because of the refill at the top of the elevator, if you enter with 10, you can just do the first room and then leave and come back, and that will refill your power bombs again, so you can do the rest of the Metroid rooms.
Absolutely. And Fringo has elected to go ahead and go, again, kind of like the same route that Zeb did. Go through Forgotten Highway to Cack Alley.
Yeah, it's a really good route, going back to Turian and getting through East Meridia fairly quickly. The seed was actually a lot nicer than some of the seeds we've seen in the last few races.
Some of the routing has been absolutely terrible. So thank you, Randomizer, for not being terrible this seed. But we still have Game 3 if Zeb wins this. So Zeb so far ahead, and again, Derp, we've talked about this, the early movement items, the upper Norfair clear. Fringo elected to get all the information, which again, I don't blame Fringo at all for wanting to get that early info. But Zeb being able to pick up 2 huge items in Speed Booster and Space Jump from upper Norfair just let Zeb jet through the rest of the seed.
Yeah, finding both suits at Green Brain actually kind of baited Fringo away from all those movement items at Bubble Mountain, as funny as it sounds. Because once you find that, you don't want to be doing slow checks like Bubble Mountain. You're already technically go mode, and you just want to be picking up items on the way. Mm-hmm. But for Fringo, the items on the way were not nearly at the same quality as Speed Booster was for Zeb.
Yeah, no, that's unfortunate too, and there it is. So good Mother Brain 1 fight from Zeb. You will see some of these runners too elect to wedge themselves in that broken glass to just continue to hit Mother Brain a little bit quicker. So that's definitely a technique. We've seen plenty of runners go and just use the platform. Derp, do you have a preference on what you do during your Mother Brain 1 fight?
I usually don't do that. The reason that runners do it is because without Ice Beam, the Rinkas will actually spawn a lot faster. For some reason, if you kill the Rinkas with Ice Beam, they respawn a lot slower. But without Ice Beam, they basically respawn instantly. So runners will just opt to wedge themselves in the glass, so they're able to get guaranteed ammo hits on Mother Brain 1. It's actually a little bit slow to get in that position, and it costs a little bit of health. Obviously, the health doesn't really matter for Zeb. He's not going for a stand-up here, as he is already done with Mother Brain 2.
Yeah.
So that's why runners do it, in general.
Stand-up, for those that are wondering, is when you have... I think you have to have 7 energy tanks to make it happen, correct?
What was that?
To do a stand-up, you have to have 7 energy tanks, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so a stand-up basically is... There is a way you can continue to damage Mother Brain while the baby here refills your health, your ammo, and, you know, waiting for that, you know, not a cutscene, but the rest of the events here to play out, and you can continue to damage Mother Brain with the beams and stuff that you already have. So it is a time save. You know, we don't see it in any percent. I think
you're not going to pick up that many tanks in any percent. You don't even save enough time, especially in New Route where you don't get a full beam combo. Right. Where a stand-up with just Charge Ice Wave Spazer only saves like 5 shots on Mother Brain 3 if you do it optimally.
It?
Yeah, it is or 5 seconds rather, not 5 shots, but it's still like it's not enough time to make up for picking up and finding 4 more E-tanks in the route.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. Fringo found Spazer, so Spazer behind. So Fringo has their Spazer. I mean, just
I think Spazer was behind Stragon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
He does have high jump as well. Fringo found high jump at.
Yeah.
I don't remember where he found high jump. I just know
Great Closet. Great Closet.
That sounds right.
So, I mean, just the interesting thing here, too, is, like, it looks like when you're damaging Mother Brain during a stand-up, but I don't know, to me, it looks a lot faster than those 5 seconds.
I mean, it's like driving. Would you rather do a 20-minute drive where you have to keep stopping, or a 10-minute drive where you have to keep stopping, or a 20-minute drive where you get to go the whole way? Like, if you're doing stand-up, you get to constantly be playing the game, whereas if you don't, then you're just sitting there waiting for things to happen, so it feels a lot slower than it actually is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like sitting in traffic, so if I know back roads to get around it, I don't care if it takes me an extra 5 to 10 minutes. I feel
exactly.
I'm moving. So, thank you all for joining us here for this amazing race. Zeb looking for a clean escape. Zeb, as long as like I said, doesn't do something crazy drastic, go for a cappuccino, or take a nap, or, you know, take an unfortunate death here in the game, we've
seen an accidental Alt F4 in this tournament. It wasn't an escape, but it did happen.
I thought Alt F4 was just a funny thing we said in Counter-Strike. What?
Yeah, you didn't know this? Alt F4 closes the program that you have active.
Well, I knew that. That's why that's why the joke in Counter-Strike is, like, if you're playing bad, just Alt F4, we'll be fine. Or, like, whatever. I didn't realize that was this for this too. I thought that was just a unique bind for Counter-Strike. Okay.
No, that's a Windows shortcut. It doesn't matter. Zeb is playing on console, so he's not gonna do that. But we have seen somebody accidentally close their emulator. I believe it was
no.
I believe it was Plumps. He still won that race too.
Whoops.
Yeah, Plumps still won the race where he closed his emulator. Funny enough. This is a really good run for Zeb. I want to keep talking about this. He is looking at a mid 52. That is crazy for area rando.
Yep, and that's it. Time. Let's find out what the actual time was. 52 minutes, 39 seconds. Unbelievable. GG's to Zeb. 52:39 is an amazing time, Derp.
Yeah,
Anything
that is.
Sub-hour, for that matter, is an amazing time in Door Rando.
Yeah, Zeb got really rewarded for the slow portal checks that he skipped ended up getting routed right into Turian. Never had to check front of LN. Never had to check back of ship. Like things went so well for him, and even with the skipped charge, the Seed had a lot of ammo, so he wasn't even really punished for that.
Yeah.
Just everything Zeb did worked out, and he flew through the Seed, like you said.
Just absolutely incredible. And again, just like we talked about it, I think it was either pre-show or, when we got on stream, like Zeb's movement is already cracked and insane to begin with. The fact that you're able to get two of the most impactful movement items in Speed Booster and Space Jump, I think really says a lot, because Zeb was able to jet through the rest of the Seed. And again, if any of these doors are a little bit different, this game could actually still be going on. But just the way Zeb ended up routing and coming across those movement items was huge for Zeb in this race.
Yeah, I mean, getting to Bubble Mountain before finding the suit led Zeb to be doing those checks, and the speed and space jump ended up making up a lot of time. I think Zeb just ended up having a cleaner route through the rest of the game as well. But,
yes.
Having speed and space jump throughout that saved so much time.
I also think Zeb lucking into that Bacaloa Norfair portal.
I don't really think it was luck. There were not a lot of portals left. Like, obviously he could have gotten unlucky and hit like Croc in back of ship or something, but
right. Well, again, like Zeb didn't have a lot of the information that Fringo had, or that we have by actually looking at the tracker. So, like, if that that portal leading into Lava Dive was anything else other than Bacaloa Norfair, like you said, could have been Croc, could have been back a wrecked ship, could have been pre-aqueduct. We didn't have any of that information, even for us. So what I mean to luck into it's like, okay, you're just gonna go ahead and go, and Ridley ended up being vanilla.
Yeah, being able to do back-to-back LN was very fortunate for Zeb. I will agree with that. Fringo had to locate, or had to get back to the front of LN and go all the way through, and that costed him so much ammo. So we saw how much farming he had to do before the boss, and then how much slower the boss was anyways, because Zeb had 30 supers entering the fight. Fringo only had 20.
And there it is. We are done. Tied 1-1. Fringo is going to go ahead and not going to forfeit. Going to go ahead and finish this out. It's still going to be an amazing time when Fringo's done with this fight. So, while Fringo continues, we want to make sure you take the time to follow these amazing runners that put on an amazing race. We have match 3 coming up right after this. So go ahead, chat, please follow both of these amazing runners. Say you were there and following this amazing best of 3. !C if you want to follow the commentary and tracking team. Big shout out to Dang for tracking. Shout out to Derp for co-commentating and dropping amazing bits of knowledge for all of us.
Nice. What I'm
Good
here for.
brain fight so far from Fringo.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough Mother Brain fight. Not the worst ever, but still, like, I think it's an 80-shot fight with this beam combo, and Fringo didn't actually have a Zeb skip, so he had to missile his way through the Zebs. So he's gonna have a little bit of a slow Mother Brain fight, unfortunately. Not the worst thing in the world, though.
Yep. But again, plenty of missiles to get through the Zebs, have charge beam, no problem. There's the catch-up.
Yeah, still gonna need a little bit more charge shots after the catch-up started. Didn't quite have enough supers to get through the phase instantly, but still gonna cut down most of it. You see, that was very fast. Only about 3 catch-up shots for Fringo, I believe.
This is now 1-1.
Yeah, and we series is 1-1. Game 3 coming up right after this.
Races are probably gonna take a little bit of a break. Can't blame them.
Yeah, of course we are playing on 10-minute delay. The runners haven't quite started the third race just yet. Just like you said, taking a little bit of a break. It's hard playing 3 seeds in a row.
Oh, we saw it the other night, especially when it was a nighttime seed.
Yeah, absolutely. it is very mentally taxing to get through 3 seeds in a row, so it makes sense that the runners want to take a short break before Game 3.
Absolutely. And the beauty of this too, Derp, is we don't have any other races until starting at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. So it's not like any of the runners are up against anything. It's just, they're just out there having fun. I mean, if you missed the first game, it came down to within a minute of finishing the game for both of these runners. Fringo inching out Zeb. Zeb, this race, you saw it. Just absolutely cruising, crushing. Speed and space were a huge get for them. And now we head to race number 3, where, Derp, I'm hoping for just insane craziness.
And we'll see what Game 3 has in store for us. Fringo finishing up his... or the baby cutscene finishing for Fringo. He's entering his Mother Brain 3. Not too far from ending the game. Obviously not the fastest escape without Speed Booster, but you know, we've already talked about how impactful that Speed Booster find was for Zeb.
Yep. And like you said, Fringo had no reason to go back and check up her Norfair.
Yeah, it was not something you want to do when you're already in go mode. Those checks are pretty slow, especially without seed, ironically enough. You know, the Speed Booster check takes like almost 30 seconds longer, something ridiculous without speed. It's not that much, but it's a lot. So you have to go all the way through and back from Speed Hallway, the slow way. Oh, Zeb is back. In the cam. Fringo going the long way around escape, as mentioned. Does have high jump though, so at least climb won't be too bad. Doing climb wall jumps without high jump and with high jump is actually very noticeable, even if it's not something that's initially obvious if you don't play a lot of rando seeds. Getting to wall jump up it with high jump is significantly faster. Yeah, you see how fast that climb was for Fringo? He is going to finish. Left the race room. I gotta find it for the official time. With an official time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 16 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Game 3 is coming up soon.